It's a thrill. I had such an incredible experience here 3 years ago. It was absolutely life-changing. So it feels like a homecoming with this one in particular, which is a perfect Sundance movie. It's about dysfunctional misfits. And there's no better place to enjoy them than at Sundance. It was being developed at the studio, and I got sent the script, and I was like, is this Wilson, the graphic novel? Because I was a huge fan of the graphic novel. I had it on my shelf. So I read it in like 45 minutes, fast as I could, and it was a no-brainer. I ran into Fox Searchlight and said, please hire me to do this. I've been a Dan Clowes fan for ages. I came in with Woody in my head. I really thought about who the ideal Wilson would be, and there really wasn't anyone else. There wasn't even a second place. It really was Woody or bust. Oh, well, from everything from growing the beard. I remember on our first shot, he had this walk, and I had no idea that I don't even know if he worked on it or if it just came naturally, but this kind of schlumpy shuffle through life. And that was so the character. And we talked a little bit about it at the very beginning, but we didn't overcook it, really. I hope that they laugh a little. It's definitely a little dark and salty. It's about real spiky people. But I really do hope that they come out with a love for these people that are kind of hard to hug at first. You might be like, whoa, these people are not who I'd want to sit next to on a plane. But then by the end, I think you grow to love them. I hope you do.
Well, I've adapted others of my graphic novels, and there's like too much material, and it's this one I felt like it had a very clear plot, and it had these characters that I knew so well. I knew I could put them in anything, and they would be themselves, and that's sort of the easiest way to start a project. So it was such a fun thing to write. It was never hard. There was never a moment of like, I don't know what to do. It was a matter of paring it down, really. I hope they find it funny most of all, but I hope there's a certain catharsis to it. I think there's something in these specific times about a person who speaks the truth and isn't interested in alternative facts, but actual facts and the repercussions that come from speaking that way, and that we can all sort of feel connected to him in that way. I try not to think of actors, because then you don't get that actor and you're like, oh, I wrote it for this. So I didn't try to think of that. And I mean, it's sort of beyond my wildest dreams, the actors we got.
And specifically playing the child of Woody Harrelson and Laura Dern.
Yeah.
What was that like?
They're crazy. They're crazy. They're a lot like my family, so it was really normal for me, honestly. But we're so close now. We're really like a family. Like Woody and Laura call themselves my parents, honestly, like on their free time. But it was great, and we had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and so honestly, if I could play their child again, I'd totally do it. In the film, I am the biological child of Woody and Laura Dern. And I'm basically adopted by this really rich family who doesn't ever pay attention to me, and I go off and I do my own thing. I'm bullied. I am just kind of my own person. I kind of keep to myself. But throughout the whole movie, my character really develops and starts to become accepting of both herself and her family, and starts to realize that she can be loved by other people. And it's a really beautiful thing, and it's really nice to see how much my character develops throughout the movie. It's a dream. It's, we thought we were going to be coming here last year, but we were rushing to get it finished, and production was like, yo, just like take it slow. So it's great to finally be here, and everything everyone said about it is true, that it's magical and accepting and artistic, and it's been great. It's been great.
I play Woody Harrelson's dog walker turned girlfriend. Which, I was so excited to work with him. I've been a fan, since Cheers. Who hasn't? And so to have these really great scenes and these really diggy good scenes with him, it was sort of a dream come true. Like, to have a chance to not just like serve him coffee in a scene, but to really act with him. Yeah, I might quit acting now, because what else am I going to do? I think Woody and Laura's chemistry is so beautiful, and I don't totally feel like it's a story that I've seen before. I think Daniel Clowes' graphic novel was so inspiring and beautifully made, drawn, and written that I think that we all had a lot to go off of. It was pretty easy when everything is right in front of you. Well, I love Sundance, and since I started acting, it's always kind of like the pinnacle of when you're making smaller movies. It's just like a really great place to showcase them, and it started out as a place for filmmakers to get their feet wet, you know, and I think we're still doing that here. I think it's really exciting, and the audience is so excited, and we made this movie a year and a half ago, so to finally be presenting it to a giant audience, I just can't wait to hear their reaction.
If there's anything you want the audience to leave feeling after seeing this film, what would it be?
It would be being reminded of what the truth looks like, because I think we get misguided into believing people who aren't always honest, who are feeding us lines. And, you know, truth is complicated, and it sometimes doesn't feel good, and it's messy, but our authenticity is what, you know, saves nations and people. And so in this misguided comedy, it says something really profound to me. So that's my takeaway.
And you and Woody have such amazing chemistry. How did you guys sort of create?
I mean, we worship each other. We worship each other in every single way. I just absolutely love him so much. We really had the most amazing time. As I said to him, there's only one person on the planet that I'm more in love with than you, and it's your wife, Laura, who's the most amazing person. And we had a summer vacation together. It was amazing. I've had the privilege of coming here since the mid-'80s, and I love the festival and how it honors independent film and independent film minds like Craig Johnson's and Daniel Clowes. They're such the exact epitome, thank you, of what I think independent film stands for. Very complicated and beautiful and flawed people as protagonists, and Woody Harrelson is so amazing in this movie, and getting to sort of play out this very damaged love story between us was the time of our lives. I think, you know, like Ghost World, his characters fly off the page into our imaginations, and that as a template I know drove all of us actors, the director, our production designer, our cinematographer, who is amazing, Fred Elms, I have to say, who I shot both Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart with. So it was an amazing reunion for me in terms of my cinematographer too. And we were all just so inspired by Daniel's drawings that that was like beyond a starting point. You know, you were given your roadmap.
I just felt like Wilson's a character that's unlikable, but he can still be lovable, and I loved the challenge of that and making a movie, you know. I love Sundance, and I've had movies here for a long time since I first started out, and it's always a thrill, so it's super exciting.
I thought it was a fascinating script, which Stan wrote, and I really liked the graphic novel. I wanted to do it, and I just thought the story was terrific, beautiful story, and I really wanted to work with Craig Johnson, too. It was cool because, you know, as the character, I fell in love with Laura Dern, and she is such an incredible actress, and she's so completely immersed in what she's doing, and so believable every moment. And then, you know, we had this incredible time together, and then when she was done, along comes Judy, and I'm already feeling like, I'm just too nuts about Laura to even. And then Judy comes in first day and blows my mind. Very, you know, tough scene she did, but she was so great. He's a really interesting character because he, you know, I think he would probably consider himself a people person, but of course he has no filter, so he says things that are just maddening to people, and you know, so in a way he's antisocial, but in a way he's very gregarious, and the mix of it is kind of really interesting to me.